Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. I shall bow down to both of them again and again. That is to Sri Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, who have descended on this earth to teach and lead the humanity. I shall take refuge at their feet and lead my spiritual life. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were all discussing on Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi's Stotram, or the hymn. So we have finished two stanzas, two verses on this Prakrutim Paramam. As you all know that it has been composed by Swami Abhedananda Ji, who is an apostle of Sri Ramakrishna. And if you remember my first class talk, this is the wonderful hymn. Why? It is written by one of the greatest yogi. Regarding Swami Abhedananda Ji, Sri Ramakrishna had said, his pre-monastic name is Kali. He said, Kali, you were one of the greatest yogi in your previous life. But little sadhana has been left. That's the reason, again, you took birth. And this is your last birth. You will finish all your spiritual practices, and this will be your last birth. Imagine a person whose last birth, such a person has composed this hymn. A person who has realized God, who has got self-realization, such a person has composed this hymn. And after composing this hymn, he sang this hymn, or he read this hymn in front of Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi herself. She was very pleased and she blessed Swami Abhedananda Ji. Let the goddesses of learning, that is Sharada, may stay on your tongue. So, such a beautiful, memorable history is there with this song or hymn. Now, Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya Sadha. This third stanza we are trying to understand. These are the Sanskrit words for the prose, for the prosody form, they write in the particular form, but we should break the words and we should interchange, then only it will give a correct meaning, or it will give the complete meaning. Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya Sada. So that if you break and if you rearrange in a prose form, what happens? He Brungamano Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya. First point. This Sada also can be added for both. Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya Sada. Then Sada Piba Charanamburu Ham Amruta Shanti Sudha. Then what happens? Bhava Rogahara. Of course, I know that everything is in Sanskrit, so many of you didn't understand. He Brungamano. So here the author is comparing the mind with a black bee, Brunga. Hey mind, oh mind, what you are supposed to do? Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya Sada. Always renounce the sense flowers of the earth. Means renounce the sense pleasures. Don't go on sticking on to sense pleasures. The first and foremost condition. Why? I'm not a monk. I don't want to be a mendicant. Why should I leave? Why should I renounce the earthly enjoyments, sense pleasures? If you ask, by that renouncing the earthly pleasures, what will I get? Sada, always, piba, you can drink. What? Shanti Sudha, the nectar of peace, The nectar of immortal bliss you can drink always. One is how? By renouncing the sense pleasures. The second is Charanamburu Amruta. Amruta Shanti Sudha. By taking refuge, by taking shelter at the feet of the Lord, by taking refuge at the feet of the divine, by taking refuge at the feet of the Holy Mother, Universal Mother, Shri Sharda Devi, what do I get? Two things you'll get. Amruta Shanti Sudam Piba. You can drink the nectar of immortal bliss. And Bhavaroga Haram, that makes you to seize all the charm of delusion. We are all deluded, that's why we are all suffering. In our life, we make so many mistakes. Because of that mistake, we suffer. And sometimes we all feel, oh, if I had studied well in my graduation, I would have got a good job. I would have got a good placement in the MNC company. I didn't do my studies properly, seriously. Because of that mistake, now I am paying heavily. Then someone says, oh, when I was working in a company, I had a good company, good work in a reputed company. But because of my short temper, I little spoke in harsh words with my manager. That's why he fired me. So that was a mistake. That was a defect in me. So I am paying heavily. Then I quarreled with my friend for some reason, and I lost my one of the very good friend. So like this, in whole of our life, we will be making small mistakes, every one of us. And sometimes we have to pay heavy price for these things. So according to the scriptures, the fundamental mistake we are all making is what? We are all deluded. What is right? What is wrong? What is good? What is bad? What is truth and what is untruth? We are not able to discriminate, discern, and understand. So we are holding on to untruth and feeling that it is truth. We are holding on to unreality, are temporary, and we are feeling that that is the reality. That's why we are undergoing n number of sufferings, time and again. So whatever the solution we do get in the mundane world, the problems can be solved, no doubt, of course, but all of the solutions are temporary solutions. So I solved my problem. Today I am happy. Tomorrow, yes, I am happy. Day after tomorrow, yes, maybe. But after 3 days, there is no surety. Again, some other problem will come. Again, my peace will become pieces. And again, I get into problem. So all the whatever things we get in our life, it is duality. It is mixed with dualities. That's why on the lighter side, I always say, buy one, get one free. So you want pleasure, with that sorrow also will come. We cannot say no. But when we take shelter at the feet of the divine, when we seek spirituality, when we take the path of spirituality, what happens? We get the nectar of immortal bliss. That is everlasting bliss. And the nature of this immortal bliss, which has been discussed in the Vedanta, or which we are discussing in this hymn, here the bliss is, the nature of the bliss is everlasting bliss. So why should we seek God? Why should we seek self? Or why should we seek enlightenment? Or why should we seek spirituality? If you ask, here is the answer. One is that I will get the everlasting bliss. And the second thing is all my delusions will be removed or destroyed. Or the ignorance is removed or destroyed. Then what happens? I will be peaceful and I will be happiest or blissful at all given circumstances. Situations may not change. People may not change. Things may not change. But I will be happiest person in the midst of the same people and the same situations. So this is the overall meaning of this. Then we will go a little in deep. Now, Vishaya. Here, Vishaya means what? Vishaya, there is a beautiful meaning in the scriptures. Vishnati Viyojayati Balan Manaha Paramartha Tattva vicharat iti vishaya. What is vishaya? The meaning of this Sanskrit sentence is, thus, by its very nature, it takes the mind away from the God or divine or the self and brings misery. The nature of this, the nature itself is what? It takes away the mind away from the God or divine or spirit or self, and it brings misery. So that is the definition of the Vishaya. Now, Vishaya Vastu, Vishaya Indriya means sense organs and sense objects. For an example, I have got a sugar, I'm diabetic. So doctor told better you avoid sweets, you avoid sugar, and you avoid fatty foods. Fatty food. One of the relative came, and while coming as a token of love and respect and a good gesture, he brought some sweets. 1 week, we never had any sweets in the house. So I was had a perfect control in my, in my food or in my diet. Now, one of my friend brought a sweet, and he or she gave me the sweets and said thank you. And I said thank you. Then we had a conversation, left, and now the sweet is on the table. Now my mind is asking, please take one sweet. One part of the mind is telling, please take one part of the sweet. The other part of the mind is telling, no, doctor has told you should not eat sweet. If you eat sweet, what happens? Your sugar may increase, then you have to suffer. There can be problems, health problems. So there will be a war in the mind. Whether should I eat sweet or I should not eat? Whether should I eat or should I not eat? If I have got a perfect control over my mind, I will not touch the sweet. If I don't have a control over my mind, I will eat the sweet and I will suffer. This is how the sweet is called sense object, and the tongue, taste, it wants the taste. This is called senses. So similarly, a particular form, some ugly picture. Suddenly I saw, when I was traveling, I saw an ugly picture. And today internet is with full of all good and bad. I come across with some ugly video. One part of mind is saying that, please watch it and have the sense pleasure. And the other part of the mind is saying, no, it is not right. It is not ethical. It is not moral. It is not right. You should not see it. You should not view it. So if you have got a good control over your mind, if you have got a good nature, you'll be able to control the mind. Otherwise, you will be the victim of this. So the eye coming into contact with the sense object called a picture. So similarly, sound. I want to sit and meditate. I sat for meditation and suddenly some music is coming. I don't want to listen to that music. It is distracting my mind. I want to concentrate my mind in the self, on the self or on the God, but I'm not able to. My mind is going again and again to hear that sound because it is so pleasurable. Then sparsha, the touch. Then smell. So all these sense objects are there, the whole world, if you see. And the senses are going again and again to enjoy the sense objects. So mind is also getting drawn through the sense objects. Then what happens? I am not able to concentrate my mind on the God or on the divine or on the self. This is what Vishayam Kusumam Parirutya Sada. Mind and senses are going time and again and again and again behind the sense objects so that I am forgetting God. Again, just a story, it reminds me. Once I was taking a guided meditation class, around 15 minutes, I had given a devotional because there are different types of guided meditation classes I do take. So that day particularly, I took devotional meditation class, guided meditation with respect to devotional. Then around 15-20 minutes, probably meditation over. Then slowly, afterwards, slowly, again conversation started. Then I asked the people, how did you feel? How were you able to concentrate your mind on God? What was your emotional state of the mind? What was your experience? Many of them, they felt nice. It was a peaceful, mind became much calmer. And some of them said, Swamiji, we tried to control the mind, but mind was going either and thither. It was a struggle. Then one lady said, Swamiji, I had a lot of problems during meditation. And I forgot totally. I asked, okay, that's fine. What do you mean by that? Can you explain? Then she said, Swamiji, when you asked for everyone to pray, I prayed. When you asked to your relatives, friends and all, immediately I remembered one relative whom had quarreled. And he or she came in my mind. I was not able to pray for her. As a result, I was feeling difficulty. So I was in a doubtful nature whether should I pray or not. Somehow you couldn't pray. Then afterwards, you started instructing me to do the mental worship. So like you offer some sandal paste, you offer some flowers, fruits, sweets. So I wanted to bring flowers, fruits, and sweets. I went to market and I lost myself in the market and I never came back to the God to worship. So the whole of my meditation, I was in the market. So this was her experience. When I heard first time this, when I started thinking, I started reflecting. So people can have this type also problem. I only gave a symbolic mental worship so that mind can get settled, mind can become calm. So when I said that you offer flowers, you offer fruits and sweetmeats to the God, she went to purchase the sweets and flowers to the market and she got lost in the market, it seems. So this how our mind and our sense organs, it deceives us, it cheats us. So if we are not careful enough, if we are not conscious enough, if we are not alert enough, day in and day out, our mind and our sense organs, they will be deceiving us and they will be taking us time and again outside into this world and we forget the God. Still, I remember one of the senior monk where I joined in Bangalore monastery. I asked, he was probably 70 plus or 80 plus. I asked him, Swamiji, how are you doing? He beautifully gave an answer. My mind has gone to the God and this body has gone to the dog. Means I am happy, I am peaceful because I am staying in the company of the God. By this body, because of that age, some diseases and some things have come, and this body is suffering. That's what he means. It has gone to dog. But my mind has gone to God. What a beautiful answer, you see. Body has its own nature. It will have diseases, it will have sometimes, dysentery, or sometimes vomiting, sometimes headache, sometimes body pain, all these things. But he says that the body has gone to dog. It has its problems. But my mind has gone to God. So I'm living in the company of the God. So whole of his life, he has practiced the spirituality, presence of the divine company, presence of the self or whatever. So even in the old age, with all his physical limitations, with his diseases, he was able to live in the company of the God. This is where the necessity of spiritual practice, maybe meditation, maybe repetition of the Lord's name, maybe attending Vesper services, or study, contemplation, devotional practices, all these things, that's how it helps us. So these 5 sense organs, which comes into contact with sense objects, so they always prone to go out, and the senses only don't go out, they also pull the mind to go out. So what happens? We are always distracted and our mind is always extrovert. When mind is extrovert, when mind is distracted, what happens? Then the energy is also dissipated. The energy is also getting wasted. Then what happens? I will not be able to concentrate on the God, on the divine, on the self, on the spirituality, or in the meditation, concentration, whatnot. So that's why he's giving the auto suggestion to the mind. Oh mind, please, enough. You have gone, enough lives you have gone again and again behind these sense objects. That is futile. It gives some amount of happiness, some amount of pleasure, no doubt, but it is temporary. So stop going outside. Rather take shelter at the feet of the Lord, or in the self. Be established in your own nature, that is in the self. By that, what happens? Shanti Amrita Sudam Piva. You'll be able to consume, you'll be able to drink the peace of the nectar. What a beautiful phrase, what a beautiful understand. Now, Piva Brunga. He has used that Piva, drink. Oh, Brunga means black bee. Author has used this word very carefully. If you think bit little, you will be able to understand. What is that? What this Dumbi, black bee, represents? See, first and foremost, it is a black bee. The color is black color. Means the black color represents darkness. The black color represents ignorance. So the mind is going again and again behind the sense objects or senses. That's why it is in darkness, it is in ignorance. And not only this, the nature of the black bee is what? It keeps on making humming sound, and it goes from flower to flower, flower to flower constantly. When it gets enough nectar in a flower, then it reduces its sound, and it sits in a flower and it starts sucking the nectar from the flower. Till it sucks entire nectar, nectar from the flower, then it keeps quiet there and it doesn't make much sound. And again it goes and deposits that nectar in the honeycomb. So that's why, so mind is going again and again and again from different sense objects. Then whatever is pleasurable, it gets the sense or mind, it goes and stays for some particular moment, maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Based on that, it goes and it enjoys. After the finishing of enjoyment, again it moves, it shifts to the different object. So mind is highly volatile in nature. Mind is highly restless in nature. To represent, to symbolically to show us that the mind is highly volatile, highly restless, to make us understand, the author is using this beautiful example of the Dumbi, Brunga. Brunga means, that is what? Black bee. At the same time, even if you remember Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 types of happiness the Krishna sells. Krishna speaks. One is Tamasika Sukha, very basic happiness. At the beginning and at the end, it is useless or it is very futile, it is not constructive. For example, if I sleep for long hours, of course, every one of us, we need sleep, 6 to 8 hours, we should sleep, fine. But 10, 12 hours sleeping, simply I will be going here and there on the bed, simply whirling around, and it's a waste of time, killing the time. I didn't do any constructive work, and when I got up also, there was no use for me. So all these futile works. Then Rajasika Sukha, mediocre. At the beginning, it will be nice, it will be pleasurable, but at the end, it will be sour or it will be bitter. Say for an example, eating chocolates. Children all like eating chocolates. They eat 1 chocolate, fine. 2 chocolates, fine. 3 chocolates, fine. 4, 5, 10. Then what happens? Slowly, it can affect their teeth. It can affect their stomach. It can affect their health. Initially, it was pleasurable. But when it became more, then what happens? It turned into bitter, means it started creating problems. This is what the type of happiness is called Rajasika Sukha. Then Satvika Sukha. Initially, it is bitter in nature, but slowly, you'll be able to understand that it is very pleasurable or it is very happy. It brings happiness and it is very good. For an example, I decide that 5 o'clock I will get up. I'll finish my ablutions and I will sit for 1 hour contemplation. Then I will do some yoga or some physical exercises. Then I will start my routine, maybe cooking or going to office or whatever. I decided, I kept the alarm, and 5 o'clock, the mobile, it made its sincere effort. It is doing its sincere work. Alarm started ringing. 5 o'clock. Oh, so pleasurable if I want to sleep, isn't it? Then I put off alarm and I sleep. These are 20-30% of the people, that's what they do. Other 20-30% of the people, they put off the alarm, they get up, and whatever they decided, they will do it. And in between, 60-70% of the people are there. They will not be able to sleep. They'll be able to get up. They want to sleep, at the same time they want to get up. So the mind will be oscillating between these two things. So this example, 5 o'clock I want to get up. To getting up, I have to feel difficulty. It is not very welcoming. I have to leave the bed, and that too, especially in winter under 5 o'clock, getting up, that too in Ireland is really difficult. It is really painful. But if you can get up and if you can start your routine, then slowly, by the time 1 hour you do meditation, then afterwards do some exercise, your body and mind becomes light and fresh. That freshness is taken care for the whole day. It enables your body and mind to face the life struggles, difficulties, challenges, all these things. So this is called Sattvika Sukha. So we have to develop ourselves so much so that evolve from the Tamasika Sukha to Rajasika Sukha, Rajasika Sukha to Sattvika Sukha. From Sattvika Sukha, we should go to beyond all these type of pleasures, and we have to establish ourselves in the blissful nature. That is how it is possible. According to the author, when you take shelter at the feet of the Lord, at the feet of the divine, then only it is possible according to the nature. According to the author. Now the question may come, how do I understand, or how can one understand that I have got a control over the mind? There's a beautiful mention about it in our scriptures. Say, for an example, if you ask to open their mouth, and if you put a sugar on the tip of the tongue, what happens? The moment you listen the word sugar, immediately saliva starts producing in our mouth. And when we put sugar on our mouth, on the tongue, what happens? No, unknowingly, without knowing, unconsciously, unknowingly, the sugar starts melting. That means what? I don't have a control over the senses. No, for the greatest yogi, a person who has got absolute control over his mind and sense organs, if you put sugar on his tongue, and after even few seconds or few minutes, if you tell oof, means the sugar will be able to blow, you will be able to blow out the sugar. Why? Because his mind will be controlled so that even the sugar is put on the tongue, it doesn't get melted up. So this is what the control over the mind. Once this control over the mind, if you get, then you can achieve anything and everything, either in the mundane world or in the spiritual life also. So this is what very, very important. This we can see in all the great people's life. For example, Swami Turiyanji Maharaj's life, it happened. Swami Turiyanji had some boils in the back in the olden days. So, operation and the medicines, all these things were not much advanced. Then the doctor said, we have to give a local anesthesia, then we have to make an operation. Anesthesia includes alcohol, we all know that. Then Swami Turiyananji, who was the monastic disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, since it consists of alcohol, I don't want to take the anesthesia. Then the doctor said, Swamiji, if you don't take anesthesia, then we cannot operate. Then Turiyanji asked, why? Because that area should be numb, otherwise you cannot bear the pain. Swami Turiyanji said, who said? I can bear the pain, never mind. Then there was a discussion between them, and Swami Turiyanji said, no, if you want to do operation, fine, I will not take anesthesia. That is a condition. Otherwise, if you can do, if you wish, you do, otherwise, no. Then the doctor said, there is no other go. Then the doctors agreed. Then Swamiji was taken to operation theater. Then the doctor said, Swamiji, we are going to do operation. We are going to operate. Then he said, give 1 or 2 minutes. Then after 1 or 2 minutes, Swami Turiyanji said, you can operate. Then the operation went for 1 or 2 hours. They operated without anesthesia. And Swami Turiyanji was just sleeping, lying on his bed as like just a log of wood without any reaction. So they removed that boil, they operated, they cleaned it, a lot of blood came out, no doubt. All these things, whatever is required, they did it, and bandage they had put, they addressed the bandage. And it was a miracle for all the whole medical group, doctors and the nurses. First time they are seeing that without any, even little fear, little emotional upheaval in the face of that Swami, the yogi. How is it possible? It was a medical miracle for all this team of doctor and nurses. Fine, they all felt very happy. They all felt really such a great monk. Then after a day or two, doctor came and he started inquiring with Swami Turiyananji, how is your health? Then Swamiji said, yes, everything. While talking, just he went to remove the bandage of the where it was operated. Turiyanji shouted loudly. Doctor took aback. He stood behind and said, Swami, what is this? Turiyanji said, why? Because you were removing that dressing bandage. I'm feeling so much pain. Then the doctor got puzzled. Doctor said, Swami, that day we operated you without anesthesia for 1 or 2 hours, and you were just lying on the operation table as like a log of wood without expressing even little pain or little emotion or whatever. And today just I am going to remove the bandage and you were shouting as if I am going to kill you. What is this? I am not able to understand. Then Turiyanji said, wait. See, that day you told me that you are going to operate. Then, since you told, I asked you, do you remember? What? I asked you to give me 1 or 2 minutes. Yes. So when you gave that time, 1 or 2 minutes, then I withdrew my mind from that part of that body. So what you were doing, I was not aware. Now, while you were talking with me, you never told me that you were going to remove the bandage. Just you tried to remove the bandage. My mind is there. That's why I started feeling pain and I reacted. Then doctor was puzzled. Oh, can this happen like this? Then doctor said, okay, Swami, now I am removing the bandage. Then he said, again, 1 minute, he withdrew his mind. And again, doctor removed the bandage, he cleaned it, and again, he redressed it. And Swamiji was just lying on the bed as a log of wood. See, this is possible for all of us, provided we have to do spiritual practices, we have to control our mind. And with such type of mind, we can achieve anything and everything. That is possible how? One is by practicing selfless action, karma yoga, or the second is path of devotion, that is path of divine love, and the path of discrimination, that is jnana yoga, or the path of psychic control, or the control of prana, that is through Raja Yoga. So this is what very, very important. In all the great people's life, if you see, they will have absolute control over their body and mind and about their desires, and they will divert all that energy towards the God, towards the self, towards the higher things. How to control all these things? Shift the mind from the lower desires and try to, tap or try to connect yourself to the higher desires. That is the easiest way of controlling the desires. Otherwise, just if you control the desires, by controlling and suppressing the desires, it is not possible to control the desires for a long time. That's why Upanishads never allows or never tells us to suppress the desires. They say sublimate the desires. Ananda Mimamsa. If whoever has studied Taittiriya Upanishad, they will tell Ananda Mimamsa. That was theory of sublimation. What is that? To get the highest bliss, to get the highest happiness, let us merge the lowest happiness or lower pleasures, sense pleasures, in the highest happiness. What is the highest happiness here is? Self-realization, God realization, becoming human in real sense. That is the highest happiness. What is the lowest happiness? Sense pleasures, momentary pleasures. So if you can merge these momentary pleasures in the highest, to get the highest happiness, you will be the recipient of the highest happiness. Otherwise, what happens? Sri Ramakrishna, he beautifully narrates a story in his gospel. Whoever has studied gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we all know this story. I think we should read, every one of us. It's a wonderful handbook for our spiritual life and to have the inner visions. He gives a beautiful narration of drunkards. Drunkards, there were a group of drunkards, and it is India and in Calcutta, that you should keep in the mind. Drunkards went to a shop and they nicely consumed the alcohol. Then they came back. and their houses are in the other side of the Ganges, Ganga river. All of them, they came and they sat in the boat. And they took the wooden piece and they were driving or the sailing whole night. So by the midnight, they sat and in that consumed in the alcohol intoxicated state, all of them in their own way with the hood, they're go on sailing the boat. They are doing. Since it is a summer, 5 o'clock itself, there is a light and of sunlight in Calcutta. Then they see they are only on the other bank of the Ganges. They never went back to the other side of the Ganges. By the time the intoxicated state of the level, intoxication level also had come down, then they understood the whole night we have sailed the boat. Why did it go? Everyone, so did you sail? Did you properly do it? Did you properly do it? Everyone, they started quarreling each other, discussing each other. Then they see whatever they had put the anchor or the boat end was tied to the pillar, they didn't untie. That's the reason the whole night there was one side of the boat, one side of the bank, and the whole night they were go on sailing the boat. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna compares with the desires. We do so much spiritual practices. We do hear lectures, we do attend some satsangs, or we try to meditate, we try to do some spiritual practices, we try to do selfless activities. So much we are trying to do. And many devotees, they come and complain, Swami, we are doing all these things, but we don't feel that we have spiritually progressed. Why? Because we have got so much desires. Until otherwise that comes down, we are not able, if not able to control, then we'll not be able to progress in our spiritual life to the larger extent. Why? Just like the boat was tied to a particular pole, our mind is tied to the so many type of desires. That's why we are not able to reach towards God. We are not able to attain God. And also, same thing, you can remember in one more story, beautiful story, even Sri Ramakrishna tells. Once a particular farmer wanted to sow the seeds, so the land was dry and he allowed to flow the water. Half an hour he flowed water, so many liters of the water has been flown, but still in no time, the water is becoming empty. Then he was wonderstruck, what happened? Then his father came and he explained, half an hour, so much water I made to flow into the field, but everything is getting dried up. I don't know why. Then his father was an experienced person. He came and he made an inspection of the field and said, come. He asked him to come and there are so many pit holes. The bandigats and the big rats, they have made holes. As a result, so much water is going through these holes, and that's the reason the water is not staying back on the fields. If you want the water should be staying on the fields, then you close all these pit holes, then only it will be possible. Initially, some amount of water it will go inside, no doubt, but water can stay. Then he filled all the pit holes with the soil, and then afterwards, when the water was flown, after some time, it started getting deposited. Then water becomes so soft and he was able to sow the paddy seeds, and slowly he was able to get the desired crops. So all these pit holes, what means? It is a wastage of water. In our spiritual life means what? Negative emotions, negative feelings. Mind and senses are going always towards sense objects. So all these things are distracting the energy, wasting the energy. That's why we are not able to concentrate. Then the question may come, Swamiji, you were saying that you should not enjoy the world. We should not enjoy the sense pleasures. Is it that's what do you mean? I'm saying no. If you ask me, I will say no. If you want to enjoy the world, please enjoy. If you want to have sense pleasures, please have it, no doubt. But if you want to enjoy the world and at the same time you would like to go towards God very deeply, very seriously, if you ask, then definitely it is not possible. I think if you remember the Saint Cavan in the Ireland, he went and he was living in a solitude because he didn't want anyone. He doesn't want anyone. He want to think about God and God, Jesus Christ, time and again. Desert Fathers, if you remember, how much they had a contemplative life. And St. Francis of Assisi, if you remember, St. Patrick, our national saint, for 12 to 14 years, just he was in the meadows without no people, and he led the life of prayer. That's why you become such a great saint. So if you want to be a spiritual epitome, if you want to progress in spirituality seriously, then you have to reduce the worldliness. Otherwise, worldliness and spirituality both cannot go hand in hand. That's what we mean. That's why even Shri Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Anityam Masukam Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajasvamam. The world is temporary, transitory. So you try to remember me. Means remember the God or divine or supreme spirit. So it is not pessimistic idea. It is like an optimistic idea. It is not the negating world. It is not the renouncing the world and worldly pleasures. Rather, try to get the highest things, highest bliss, highest happiness. That is what the way. And if you've seen the Holy Mother's life, she had three brothers. One is Varada, the other is Prasanna Kumar, and the third is Kali Kumar. See, these three were younger brothers of Universal Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Imagine. And she fed them, she took care of them, she bathed them, all fine. But they never asked, except one, they never asked for God realization, for self-realization, for enlightenment, or for spiritual progress, for devotion, for discernment. No. All of them, they thought, our sister is becoming famous. Many devotees are coming. They are giving sari for her. They are giving some different type of food or sweet meats, and they are giving little money. So how much ever is possible, we should snatch away all that from our sister. So all their love and affection and concern towards our sister, Shri Sharda Devi, was how much we can get money from her. How can we get the saris from her, clothes or saris or whatever? How can we get the good food from her? Though they were the younger brothers of the Universal Mother, they were staying with the Universal Mother, and she was so easily accessible for them. Universal Mother was so easily accessible for her, for all of them, but they never made use of it. So for this, what does it mean? Vishayam kusumam parirutya sada. Because these people's mind were constantly, always engaged in the worldly pursuits. I want money, I want wealth, I want clothes, all this. Yes, these are the basic necessities. We want it for our sustenance, no doubt. But we should not completely obsessed in that alone. That's what we mean. But whereas, the contrary, if you remember, if you know, Swami Vivekananda, as a young Naren, once Sri Ramakrishna says, look, generally people get one occult power. Say, for an example, they can walk on the water, they can walk on the fire, they can fly in the air, they can become small, they can become big, or they can get disintegrated, or they can get, just what's Adrushya we say in Sanskrit. In the air, all these things are possible by one Anima, Garima, Lagima, Mahima. Like this, Ashtasiddhis are the 8 occult powers. If you get one particular power, you will get it. You can exercise, and you will become a great saint, and you will become probably God even. Hundreds of followers will become for you. And after explaining, Sri Ramakrishna says, with Mother Kali's grace, I have got all these 8 occult powers with me. But hardly I used it. I didn't use it. So I would like to give to you, Naren. Will you mind to accept it? Imagine what a jackpot, what a lucky fellow he is. If anyone would have asked us, we would have said, thank you, sir. We are very grateful to you. Please give. We will take these 8 occult powers, Ashtasiddhis. But Naren said, sir, will these occult powers help me to realize God, to have self-realization, to experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Sri Ramakrishna says, no, my dear, it will not help you. Then immediately he said, then that means I do not want any of them. You see, the tremendous mental power or the power of discrimination. Why Naren became Swami Vivekananda? Why he was able to shake the world with his spirituality? Why the world followed him, and now also why the world is following Swami Vivekananda? Because of his spiritual power. And his mind was always merged in the spirituality. His mind was always merged in the self. Is one of his disciple, brother disciple, Swami Turiyananda. He tells, while he discussing with the young monks, he beautifully explains who is Vivekananda. You know, I am also the knower of Brahman. Experienced, I am that Brahman. I have experienced. I have got a self-knowledge. And Swami Vivekananda also is an experiencer of the self. Brahman, that is the self. He also has got self-knowledge. I also have got self-knowledge. He also has got self-knowledge. But still, why people are fond of Swami Vivekananda? Why, including all of us, we respect Swami Vivekananda? Why all of us, we follow him, just like ants follow the sugar? Then the young novices who joined the monastery, they were looking towards the Swami Turiyanji. Swami Turiyanji said, you know why? We have realized Brahman, no doubt. He also realized Brahman, self, no doubt, but he always lives in the Brahma Bhava. He always lives at the level of consciousness. I am consciousness. I am Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am that Brahman. That conscious level he always stays. Only sometime he comes little down and again he goes back. But whereas in our case, it is not so. We have to struggle to go and stay in that level. So that is the fundamental difference between Vivekananda and us. That's why people follow him. And that's what we can see in the life of Swami Vivekananda. I think once in a Western country, he was about to go to give a lecture. And he was staying in a particular lady's house. And that lady was a good lady, but she had only one defect. Whoever she sees, she wanted to examine what is their defect. So when she finds some defects in them, then she used to be happy. But she started very minutely, very closely observing Swami Vivekananda. She is not able to find any defect in Swami Vivekananda. She's becoming restless. I'm not able to see any defect in Vivekananda. I'm not able to see any defect in Vivekananda. One day, just before going to lecture, Swami Vivekananda is standing in front of a big mirror, life-size mirror, and is looking himself. Then this lady, she was watching from the backside of the door. Swami Vivekananda was not aware, and she started laughing in a low tone. Oh, you see, this fellow, this Swami, this monk tells, I am Brahman, you are Brahman, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect, and you are not this body, mind, intellect. Fine. But before going to bed, before going to lecture, he's standing in front of mirror. Just like people make a makeup, good look, physical look. So he's also standing in front of the mirror and he's trying to see that whether his hair is combed, whether his clothes are perfect. So he's about to go, because he's about to go and deliver a lecture. So that idea flashed in her mind and she was happy. At least I found some defect, mistake in Vivekananda. Vivekananda even didn't turn back. He started telling, Mother, now I am supposed to go and give lecture. But the problem is, I am not feeling that I have got a body. I'm not feeling that I've got a body. If I don't feel, I cannot go and give lecture. So I am standing in front of the mirror and I am saying that, look, Vivekananda, you have got the body. Look, Vivekananda, you got the body. So I am trying to make my mind understand that you have got a body, so that if that little feeling that I have got a body feeling, if I get, then I can go and deliver a lecture, Mother. That's the reason I'm standing in front of a mirror. And that lady felt very bad and she came and apologized. You see, this is the difference between us and Vivekananda. All of us, we are having so much body consciousness, even for few moments, few seconds, we feel difficulty to forget that we are body. But Swami Vivekananda, for few moments, is feeling difficulty to remember that he has got a body. So he was living always in that Brahma Bhava. So this is possible for few people, and for most of us, at least incidentally, initially, by spiritual practice, it is possible. So author is telling that then you take the shelter at the feet of the Divine Mother, Universal Mother, by her infinite grace, love, and compassion, then you will be the recipient of the immortal bliss, peace, the peace of immortal peace bliss. Beautiful. Immortal bliss. No, immortal peace and bliss are immortal bliss. It's a beautiful usage. So how to get it, we will try to discuss with the grace of Holy Mother in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, if you got any doubts, I'll be happy to answer.
So you talked about in that lecture about the story about the boat and the anchor. How does one see? No matter what you're saying was, no matter how much effort you put in, if you've that anchor holding you down, those desires, then you'll just keep going around and around. So how does one cut that anchor or move the boat, make progress?
Yeah. So there we should understand that by controlling the desires. See, some spiritual aspirants have got a wrong notion. They would like to enjoy the world, and at the same time, they also want to attain spirituality.
Okay.
So I meditate. I try to do some repetition of the Lord's name, and I will go to some monastery and do some services, or I will go to some religious place and do some services. And I keep on doing it, but still I don't feel that I progress spiritually. Why? Because I've got a lot of desires to enjoy the world. I mean, for sense pleasures. So if you've got sense pleasures and if you do all these things, there can be bit progress, but not really. So if you want to have the quicker progress in the spiritual life, as much as possible, you should control your desires. You should control your desires. You should control the mind going downwards and try to push the mind towards going the upwards. That is what the essence of that story.
And how is that done? Is that depending on like what path you choose?
Yes.
Like,
so if you take from Patanjali Yoga Sutra point of view, it is Abhyasa and Vairagya. Vairagya is what? Controlling the mind from the wrong things and from the pleasurable things here. And Abhyasa is what? Practicing the the presence of the Lord, practicing that I am the self, or practicing that I want the highest thing, highest bliss, so I don't want to be the victim of this mind. Or from the Sankhya point of view, I am the Purusha, and these desires and thoughts, feelings, everything belongs to mind, Prakruti. So I am Purusha, and I don't have anything to do with this, and stay aloof, stay witness for all these things. So you can take any of this particular mode of spiritual practice and you can try to establish yourself in controlling the mind.
Right. Okay. And just part of that question ties in. You said in your lecture there, merging the lower happiness with the higher happiness. How is that done?
Yeah, I think that there's a beautiful experiment. If you on YouTube, you can, if you search, you'll get a Maslow experiment. Maslow experiment. For an example, I will give an example. Now, say for an example, 5 people are here, 5 children are here. Then I will say, I have given the Kit Kat chocolate for all of the 5. I say, look, my dear children, I have got a small work. I will go and I will come back 2 minutes. When I come back 2 minutes, after 2 minutes, if I see the chocolate in whosoever hand, they will get the second chocolate. So 2 minutes, they should not eat the Kit Kat chocolate. That is the condition. So if you make an experiment, this beautiful experiment has been made even clinically. So all these kids were made to sit in different rooms. So marshmallow was kept on the table and the person was about to explain, look, you are not supposed to eat this till I come back. If you don't eat, then you'll get the double quantity. Before finishing that sentence, some kids started eating it. I mean, they never listened to it because they were so much obsessed to eat the marshmallow. Or even you can take the chocolate. 1 or 2 kids, say among the 10 kids. Then 1 or 2, they listened. When the person finished the sentence, they started eating it. Then 1 or 2 listened and they thought, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Thinking, they started eating. And some of them, they had a control over the mind and the kids simply sat. Then after 2 minutes, the fellow came and among the 10 children, say maybe 2 or 3 or 4 children were without eating, they were sitting and they got the second Kit Kat also. So to get 2 Kit Kats, I am not eating the 1 Kit Kat for 2 minutes. This is one just simple example I am giving. So now I want the Brahmananda, the bliss which is obtained for knowing that I am the Brahman, which is the highest bliss. To get that, whatever the sense pleasures, small sense pleasures, by eating, probably by flirting, or by talking with opposite sex, by talking with them. Everyone has got different type of desires, I mean to say. So all these things can be controlled, and when you control, you will get energy. No, you try to divert that energy towards the spiritual practice. What is that? Feeling that I'm the self, or feeling that I'm the son of God, or feeling that I'm the witness, Sakshi, or Brahman, or Purusha, and this I don't belong to this, and they don't belong to me, like this. So when you keep on doing these things, then you will get the highest bliss. This is what I mean, theory of sublimation, merging the lower happiness into the higher happiness.
Okay, understand.
Yes, thank you, Christian.
The question is more in related to the Akashic record. It's more when one start to get to have like some few information about the Akashic record and about this involvement in society. How can one apply it in its day-to-day life? I mean, like even in work, just to make people understand what it is, that basically it's beyond sometimes, yes, books. I mean, like or just, yeah, beyond. I mean, books. It's beyond sometimes the knowledge that is circulated inside the companies, like it's more in societies, in spiritual societies, obviously. Yeah, the Akashic records. So.
Now, whether your question is whether how can I understand this, or whether your question is how to make other people to understand.
How to make people understand it? And the right people, obviously, the people that are like, yes, that are like,
I mean, again,
that vibrates. That vibrates on.
The greatest science and the greatest incarnations, they couldn't make people understand what is right, what is wrong. Then what to speak of me and you? Anyhow, having said this, so particularly, first and foremost, you should have a conviction what you are going to say. What are you going to explain? First and foremost, you should have a conviction about it. The second thing is, you should have a clear idea about it. Second point. The third is, to certain extent, at least there should be some practice, some try in your life. Then people will listen to you. So first is conviction. Whatever you are saying, that you should have a conviction. Second thing, you should have a clear clarity about it. The third is, to a certain extent, at least, if not to larger extent, there should be some practice. I mean, the value or whatever the philosophy or the truth you are going to explain, that should be practiced by you to a certain extent at least. Then you'll be able to make people understand.
Oh, I understand. So in practice, you mean practicing the guiding principles of the Vedic philosophy.
Whatever you say. For an example, you say, oh, the world is transitory and the reality is the self. Say, for an example, this you would like to convey to the people. So this has to be reflected in our life, in our communication, or in our actions to a certain extent. Otherwise, it is just, I mean, what you say, lip service, just it is teaching, or just it is, I mean, vomiting the words. That's what I mean. Yes, you got your doubt cleared, or still you got your question?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my mind is clear. You know, that's this. You know, this. Yeah, this oneness is clear in me. That's the thing, but it's to yes, to spread the teachings to the people that want to receive it. This feelings of
they also
oneness.
should, I mean, see, it also depends on, they should also be in need of it. You might be given the highest philosophy, the best philosophy. They may not be interested. They feel that they are not in need of it. That also comes into picture, isn't it?
Oh yes, I agree. They won't resonate at some point in their life. But the thing is, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Apologies, Swami. I just something that I noticed in Ramakrishna is that sometimes for some disciples, I think like for Girish Chandra Ghosh, like he sort of, I can't remember it exactly, but like it was like, you know, okay, he led a you know, he was involved in the theater and all that, and he you know, I think at one stage he drank a lot, and Ramakrishna, he looked for instruction from Ramakrishna, and Ramakrishna sort of told him to keep drinking, I think. And then this came up, I was reading the gospel today, and in one of the chapters on, you know, in the company of devotees, Brahmo asks him, how does one cultivate the spirit of dispassion? Why don't all attain it? And then Ramakrishna answers was, dispassion is not possible until there is satiety through enjoyment. You can easily, then he went on to, you can easily cajole a small child with candies or toys, but after eating the candies and finishing its play, it cries, I want to go to my mother. Unless you take the child to its mother, it will throw away the toys and scream at the top of its voice. Now, you know, sort of like sometimes, like, you know, it's like there's two things being said, like, because to others he was sort of saying, you know, you'd be afraid that if you you know, how do you distinguish between?
Yeah, I think you missed one important point there, Dharmat. So Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, you keep drinking, he said, no doubt. But he gave one condition there. Before drinking, you offer this drink to mother and you drink it.
Oh,
so
yes.
as in a prasad form.
I take
as an offering form.
Yeah, I
So
was
that is
just
very important there.
Yeah. So, well said. Now I know I know what you say is that is an important.
So afterwards, Girish Chandra Ghosh himself says, slowly what happens afterwards, whenever he started offering and consuming the liquor, slowly, whenever after in few days, when he starts consuming, he wish to consume liquor because of his habit when he brings, and immediately used to remember the Lord's name or Lord's face, and he used to feel so shyful or bashful, and he used to give away, though, no, I should not take. So like that, slowly, he got away. He got rid of it.
That explains it, because what I was thinking, that with most desires, the more you give in to the desire, the more you need, you know. So say, like, if you take an extreme one, say like heroin, when somebody takes it the first time, it's great. But actually, one of the saddest comments I've ever heard in my life was by somebody who was who had been on heroin, and he said that, you know, the best thing in his life was his first shot of heroin, but you know, he could never repeat that first high. To me, that was the saddest thing. And isn't that the function of a lot of desire, that it takes more and more to get the same hit? You have to consume more and more. It doesn't matter what desire you're talking about, but you know, the initial satisfaction keeps requiring more and more.
Yes.
To get the same level of satisfaction. And I don't know if that's psychologically true, but
yes, it is true.
That's the way I see it. So I couldn't understand. So thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, come on, Lionel. Yeah.
But I don't know if I should answer it, but, you know, feel free obviously to answer if you feel it's comfortable or not comfortable. It seems like in my research, you know, that I've researched, I mean, I try to research quite a bit about spirituality, and the more than I search it, I realized a lot of depending on the point of view of different people, like worldview. Some people might be very concerned about the gods, and some other ones less concerned. But the more the people are concerned, they can have, like you said, what is right or wrong? What is the right attitude to have towards the gods, or what is the wrong attitude? Is it just being observing, or just how to approach it? That's the question. How to approach the gods?
How to approach God?
The gods, yeah, plural.
Gods. Just
Yeah.
like if you ask me, I always say, just like when you were a small child, how did you approach your father and mother?
It just came naturally.
Just came the same thing. So God is my own father, or is my father, is my beloved, is my real friend, is my real mother. So just naturally approach God. Today someone was saying, Swami, I want to build a house. So can I ask God or not? I said, yes. Why should you not? If you want to build the house, that is your goal. Yes, please ask the God what is there. There is no wrong in it. Because He is my all in all. He is I am sole refugee. I've taken shelter at His feet. So there is no wrong in it. There is no wrong in it. So just approach the God, just like you approach your father, your mother, or your friend. God is not, oh, you without respect, you approached me so that He will punish me. No. God, He understands my intentions, my inner feeling, love, isn't it? Just approach the God. If you ask me, that's what I tell. Approach the God maybe as a father, or as a mother, as a friend. Yeah.
Thank you, Swami, for these wise words.
Swami,
Mm-hmm.
probably a quick question, and it's my last, I promise.
Yeah, come on, Christian, no problem.
How does this? What does it mean when one increases one's dharana shakti? So it's said that if one follows, let's say, brahmacharya, one's dharana shakti increases, one's dispassion increases. What does that mean? So if I'm focusing on like an object, a mental object, is it the intensity increases or the duration of that?
Yeah. See, now for an example, your mind is healthy. You are physically healthy. Physically
Okay.
you are healthy. Then you sit for meditation.
Hmm.
So your mind is okay. It was restless with a bit control. To certain extent, you were able to meditate. 2-3 days over, suddenly you got ill. God forbid, let not happen anything for you. Just for argument's sake, you got a fever and cold. But you are sincere in spiritual practice, so you want to be sincere and a regular person in a spiritual practice. Now you want to sit and meditate. Now you are suffering from, your body is suffering from cold and fever. Then you would like to sit and meditate. You are trying to, but you are not able to larger extent. Why? Your body is not supporting. Though yoga desire to sit and meditate, because of the weakness of the body, it is not that easy. Because the strength of the physical body has come down, that's why it is becoming difficult for you to sit and meditate. So similarly, when you practice brahmacharya, continence, what happens? Your purity of the mind is established. Your energy is controlled. The wastage of the energy is controlled. So when you maintain the purity in the word, purity in thought, purity in the life, in your feelings or whatever, then your energy is not getting dissipated. Your energy is not getting diverted. Your energy is not getting wasted. Rather, it is controlled. Now, through meditation or through dharana, you'll be able to give the higher realm or higher force, or you will be able to drive the force to the higher realm. So that is easy for you to practice dharana when you practice brahmacharya. That's what they mean. It is nothing but from the energy concept. Just like physically, when you are strong, mentally you are strong, you can sit and meditate to certain extent possible. But if you're not physically well, or if your mentally you are not well, mind is disturbed because of something, then your meditation becomes much more difficult. Why? Because of the lack of the strength of the either body or the mind, isn't it? So in the similar way.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much
So it's
appreciated.
controlling the energy. So you got more energy, you can meditate more in a better way. So that's how the brahmacharya can help you for dharana.
Is it the strength of the dharana increases so that
Yes.
the mind is less
The
likely to
duration.
fluctuate
Yeah,
left to
strength
right?
in the sense the quality of the dharana increases.
Okay. All right. I understand. All right. Thank you, Swami. Much appreciated.
Okay. Yes.
It's so difficult sometimes to control the anger because of a strong likings or dislikings, and that hinders our spiritual progress. We can understand, still sometimes it's so difficult to
Yes.
control this.
So I got one suggestion by one of our monk. It helps me. So I am telling this for you also. See, in life, there are two things. One is called opinion. The other is called principle. We should differentiate clearly in our mind what is principle and what is opinion. Say for an example, yourself, you came and you made 5 beautiful vases and you kept in front of the altar. I said, look, this yellow flower doesn't look good. So you change with the blue color flower. Then he said, no, Swami, you don't understand. I think the yellow color flower only looks good there, not the blue color. Now, either for Christ or for Ramakrishna, whether you keep yellow color flower or blue colored flower, it really doesn't matter. It only matters your love. It only matters your attitude, isn't it? But now we start quarreling each other. I say, no, it is blue color should be kept. And you say, no, yellow color flower. And we struggle, we quarrel, and our ego clash. All these things come into picture. I said, okay, you feel that yellow color looks nice in that place. And I feel blue color is nice. Okay, that's it. So this is what opinions. In day-to-day life, these things, many things we come into picture. We are not aware of it. Then something comes, like for an example, telling the lie, cheating people, troubling some people. So these are the ethical principles. Here we should not compromise. If someone say for an example, I ask you to tell a lie. Immediately you can say, no, Swami, sorry. You may be a monk. I have got all respect to you, but you can't tell me that to tell a lie. So no, sorry, Swami. So this is a principle. So with come to principle point, we should not compromise. When it comes to opinion point, that okay, no problem. I want to purchase you said for your daughter, say for example, to purchase 2 sets of clothes. Your daughter says, no, 3 sets of clothes. If you can give financially possible, you give her. Otherwise, say, my dear, you want to purchase 3 sets of clothes, no doubt, but we don't have so much money as of now. Finance is tight. So please, we ask you to purchase only 2 sets of clothes. And if she cries and she demands, that is, you can't help her. You should just keep quiet. You need not to get disturbed. So there's a difference between opinions and opinions or perceptions and principles. The difference, if you can understand, to larger extent, you can control your anger. And these management gurus give a standard example is when you get anger, you start breathing, or you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or just be aware of the anger, or just you start repeating the Lord's name, or just you start meditating. All these simple techniques are given by management gurus today. These are also quite possible. You can try any of this method.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Pranam.
Namaste.